This is Rogers TV.
Hi everyone, my name is Chelsea Foley with Agriculture in the Classroom, Newfoundland and Labrador. We are hosted by the NL Federation of Agriculture, and on today's episode, we're going to take a look at some farms across the province that help us understand the agriculture industry a little bit more. So first, we'll be visiting Leicester's Farm Market with Chef Ross Larkin to celebrate Canada's Agriculture Day, which is normally in February, and he will be preparing a fresh and delicious meal made with local ingredients. So let's check it out.
Hi there, I'm Ross Larkin. Today I'm here with my family at Leicester's Farm Market doing some shopping for beautiful local fresh produce. So let's have a look. Do you want to grab some eggs, buddy? We need those. Thank you. What else? We have red ones, orange ones, red carrots, orange carrots. They're beautiful to be able to come here and get these wonderful vegetables. So should we do carrots first? All right, we'll get these carrots going. Pretty good to be able to go to the farm, pick out carrots, eh? Fresh, local, good carrots. Get a couple of these done. Okay, buddy. How lucky do you think we are to be able to go to the farm and get carrots? When do you think they pick these? What do you think? 2 weeks, 2 days, a month? 2 days? You're probably right. I would imagine that they picked these carrots yesterday, and then they cleaned them, and then they bagged them, and we got them today. So that's pretty fresh, hey? It's definitely, you know, personally in my mind, it's a no-brainer to go to your local farms, your local vendors and farmers markets and support the growers, the farmers, the producers that are putting the time and effort in for all these wonderful products. You have to support them, and you can taste the difference in that. You know, it makes a big impact on the food you eat, the recipes you create, and things like that. So, Draven, how many of your friends do you think know where their food comes from? Probably
some of them think the supermarket.
Yeah, the supermarket? Do you think some of them know that it comes from local farms and farmers? Some? Do you think they know where those farms are?
Maybe a bit of them.
Yeah. Do you think it's important to know where your food comes from? Yeah, definitely. Well, our fresh pasta is together. We just got to roll it out a bit. So I'll start it off for you and you catch it. Cool. While we're waiting for the pasta to cook, we had the opportunity today to sit down with Susan Lester and talk about food sustainability. She showed us their hydroponic greenhouse operation that they have. You should have a look. So how do we get from this to that? Like time frame? How did it start? What was the idea behind doing this in the greenhouse?
Yeah, so this is our hydroponic greenhouse. And so what you see in front of you is lettuce that's probably about 2 weeks old. From start to finish, it takes about 6 to 8 weeks, all depending on the light, which is hard to get this time of year,
Yeah.
and the nutrients, making sure that we're consistent with it. So something that is that size versus this size needs different nutrients. We want to make sure that we're doing that properly. The lettuce that's next to me here is probably about 4 to 5 weeks old, so there is quite a different stage in growth. But again, as you probably seen when you first came in, there was a very small seedlings that are only a few days old.
Yeah.
And then it goes to here. As they grow, they go into bigger spots.
More nutrients early on than later on? Like, is there enough in the larger lettuce that can kind of help itself more than really kind of kickstart it to grow?
Well, I kind of like to say it's like humans. So as you're growing, there's certain nutrients that you need as a baby.
Okay.
But you're also not going to eat quite as much each time.
Yeah.
But then as you're an adult, you're going to eat more because you're kind of, you know, you're growing differently. Your organs are working differently. So think that kind of like a human, I guess. So they need different things when they're at this stage versus this stage. And that also depends on what kind of plant it is as well. So we stick with mostly lettuces and herbs in here. That's what we find has worked so well.
Yeah.
So far anyway. So out in our fields we grow about 100 different varieties of fruits and vegetables. But in here this is still fairly new to us.
100 different kinds of fruits and vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, how many do you think the average person knows that Leicester's has? 5? 10?
It's hard to say. I think it really depends on the age of the person as well.
Fair.
So we've had customers with us for over 26 years,
Yeah.
and they're kind of the
Stick
staple.
to potato, parsnip,
Yeah.
turnip, the boiler bag.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
And with that, like, you know, 100 fruits and vegetables, the amount of people you have working on the farm, like what kind of, like from what to what, like who's designated for certain crops, like what kind of skill set, like someone straight out of high school, someone with some sort of degree, like how do you guys kind of plan around that for hiring staff?
Yeah, I do a little giggle because basically when anyone comes to work here, they are jack of all trades.
Fair enough.
And again, I'm just speaking on behalf of our farm, but there's lots of other farms that if they're more specified,
Yeah.
it's kind of easier to pinpoint those exact requirements that they need. But for us, not only is there crop, but there's also, you know, direct market sales. So
Yeah.
we're interacting with the customers. So we need people who have those personable skills. I mean, we have people starting here with us when they're about 15, 16, and then sometimes they're here until they finish their university degree.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can hang on to them for a little bit longer too, so that's great. But skill set wise, there's such a wide variety.
Yeah.
So it's being able to chat to people. It's being able to be quick with your hands. Some people who are great planters aren't great harvesters. I don't mean not great, but it's just a different skill.
It's just a different, different skill.
So it's different with hand-to-eye coordination. So planting versus figuring out what's good to be picked and what's not, total different skill set.
So some of the people that work here, you know, they're going to school, they're getting an education, they're going to university. How else can they, or are they wanting to further that for, you know, specializing in different areas, doing, you know, agriculture work? Like what
Yeah.
else is there?
So I think one of the most attractive things to me about the whole industry is that whatever you want to do, there's some kind of avenue there.
Wow.
So if you like numbers, everyone needs an accountant.
Oh yeah.
If you love animals, you can be a veterinarian. If you're more into the science side of things, there's not only just the specifics about how things grow, but also the soil samples.
Yeah.
There's also working with farmers. We work with a lot of government employees to help get things like our sweet corn up and running.
So I know you guys do summer programs like young farmers. There's kids that come to the farm and you take them around, you show them where their food comes from.
Yep.
That must be probably pretty challenging at days, and you got a ton of kids on a bus and you're showing them around the farm, but how nice is that to teach that to people, especially children, kids, like?
Yeah, so by having those programs here, I've been able to create like my dream job because I love to teach kids. So when we first started, like 10 years ago, I'd hold up carrots and say, "Who can tell me how these grow?"
Yeah.
There were some kids who said, "On the grocery store shelf."
Exactly.
So, but the good thing is, I am after seeing a big change.
Yeah.
So I think people of all ages are being a bit more aware of, or wanting to know where their food is coming from.
Yeah.
So I think now, instead of just seeing it in a bag and thinking, okay, it's in a bag, I think they're starting to think, okay, I know that a carrot grows underground. I think now the next step is, okay, but where?
Where?
And how? How does it get from point A to point
Yeah.
B? So I think that's really beneficial for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
They're starting to appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just, okay, it's a head of lettuce on a shelf. There's more to
Yeah.
it. Like,
We're an island,
Yep.
you know, and you can't really forget that, because I think it was last year we had upwards of 200 more canceled ferry crossings.
yeah.
So that means less product in the supermarkets, and the amount of products that are in the supermarkets are twice the price.
Yep.
When you have farms, I know you guys got a lot of cabbage,
We got a lot of cabbage.
a lot of root veg and stuff, so educating people and telling them, like, look, maybe take the extra drive. Go out to Brookfield Road, check out Lester's, go one of your local farms and see what they have.
Yeah.
It'll be well worth it in the long run.
Yeah, and just to kind of touch on what you were saying earlier too, so yeah, you can go to a supermarket and you can get a lot of different veggies.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we don't have that climate. So yeah, you can probably get broccoli year-round in the supermarket, but it's also knowing how you can adapt what our season allows us to grow into your meal.
Yeah.
As well, when you actually get to get the lettuce that is literally still attached to the root,
Yeah,
like
like,
hydroponics is,
Come on.
you're going to find that that's going to last a lot longer.
And it just tastes better.
It does.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, I grew up eating all this, so for me to eat something that's not grown on the farm, it
You can taste
really
the big
tastes
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And when things actually get to like fully grow and mature where they're planted, you can't beat that taste.
It's not picked months in advance,
No.
ripening in shipping containers, coming over,
Yeah.
and then you get it and it's still $8 for a head of cauliflower.
Or you got to throw out half of it because it's going bad.
Yeah.
So it's after traveling. So veggies are kind of like us in the sense that the more they travel, they're going to get kind of bumped around.
Weathered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like this head of lettuce here is beautiful and green. We bring it up to the market and it sells within a day or so.
Yeah.
And you know, it's still so fresh. But if this was to have it travel across the continent, total different story.
Completely
right?
different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Well, personally, I think that growing anything, whether it be flowers, vegetables, whatever, is just so rewarding.
Oh yeah.
And at any age.
Yeah.
So for us, we have it, all of our food travels less than 4 kilometers. So our field staff will go out, they work super hard.
Oh yeah.
They go out around, 6:30, 7 o'clock in peak season. They're harvesting. And
In the
then-
mornings?
Yeah, every morning. And within a few hours, it's on our shelves. So,
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at
That's pretty
that,
special.
Yeah.
Like going out, sunrise, whatever, like, yeah, it's hard work, but like how rewarding it is to cut some vegetables, cut some broccoli,
Yeah.
pick some carrots, bring them in,
Yeah.
package them, and watch it fly off the shelves.
Yep. I mean, and like you said, it is hard work. So it's like, so normally they will harvest, say, like a crate or a tub.
Yeah.
We've seen lots of those before, of whatever crop. And that should get us through so many, like an hour or so many hours. But it's great when we have to call them and be like, hey,
We need another
we
tub.
need more. And you know what? It's never like, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, let's go.
Wicked.
Let's go get it. Yeah.
That's
so
good.
it's great to see. I guess it's rewarding to them to be like, okay, you know what? I picked a really good product. They probably helped plant it or take care
Oh,
of it,
yeah.
cultivating, whatever it may be. There's so many steps between point A and point B
Oh, yeah.
to finish. So it's really like, okay,
Yeah, they appreciate
perfect.
it. They want to make it the best they possibly can.
Exactly.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. That's great.
So with all these products we picked up earlier, we made a fresh pasta with a ragu sauce, and as well, all these products are available locally.
Thank you, Susan Lesser and Chef Ross Larkin, for showing us a delicious meal made with local ingredients and how we can get fresh ingredients right here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Next, we will be visiting Fagan Meats, and we will meet Kayla Manette, who is the mastermind behind the recipes at Fagan Meats. You need to check out her meatballs because they are to die for. So let's have a look and make ourselves a little bit more hungry today.
Hi, my name is Kayla and I work at Fagan Meats with my spouse Nelson Fagan Jr., Nelson Sr., who is my father-in-law, and Gail, my mother-in-law. We are beef producers and vegetable producers. Our farm is actually pretty big and it's split up into 3 different sections. So this section here is about 6 acres cleared, and we have 11 hectares that we've applied for down back, so hopefully we get that. On the top of Minerals Road, where the talc mines are, we have another 6 acres, and then we have our family homestead, which has another barn and the butcher shop and all our houses on as well. I was only with Nelson Jr. probably a couple of months back in 2008 when my father-in-law asked me to help him with moose season in the butcher shop. So of course I got roped into that and I've been doing it ever since. And that's actually one of my favorite parts on the farm, is just helping in the butcher shop and getting orders ready, boxing them up and getting them at the door. And then it was probably the next summer I had to start cleaning out the chicken and the turkey pens. So that was my job for a couple of summers, was looking after turkeys and chickens. My education was in medical admin, and I went to work at a physio clinic, and I worked there for 6 years, and I always did farming in the evenings and part-time. But after COVID hit and I was home full-time and farming full-time, I seen how much I loved it and how much I wanted to do that, and I haven't gone back. It's been almost 2 years and I can't imagine doing anything else. I got a lot of roles on the farm. I wouldn't say there's any just one certain thing. We all chip in, we all help, we all do what we can. Every day is different. Some days I could be in here looking after the animals, some days I'm in the butcher shop, some days I'm sat down doing paperwork to a table. Everything is different and we just take it day by day. One of my roles on the farm is coming in to check on the cattle every day. I got to make sure they got feed and water, and make sure they got hay, make sure everything is going okay and they're all looking good and all the gates are closed. Come on, girls. Come on, girls. Come on. Come on, girls. Hey, Cookie. Hey, girl. Hey, Rio. Here, Cook. Come on, girls. Come on, Moonlight. There you go. There you go. Bicycle. My favorite part of working on our farm, I do love working with the cows, I do love that, but I love in the butcher shop. I love getting orders prepared, I love just getting food on people's plate. I love that. Another role on the farm that you wouldn't think that is important, but it is the creative side. So we look after I look after our social media page, but I'm constantly on my phone and on my computer. We have so much information, we have customers, we have followers, we have a lot to keep up on that aspect of things. And then when we have our cattle, we always have to have information about them entered in, if they ever got a vaccine, if they calved. Everything about the cattle has to be entered in online as well, so that's another part. Another creative side would be different recipes we use. We do 4 different flavors of meatballs. We do a meatloaf, which is just strictly me. Nobody else does that. That's mine. And we sell those to different stores with the rest of our products. We have meat in a ton of stores. We have Urban Market on Lamartin Road. We have Lester's Farm Market on Brookfield Road. We have Tilt House Bakery in Portugal Cove. We have May's Variety in Foxtrap. We have Campbellton Berry Farms in Campbellton. And we have 3 Mile Ridge in Lethbridge. And then we also sell on farm for pre-orders. And then we go on the road. We go to Marystown, we go to Fogo, we go to Gander. We go all over the place with our freezer trailer. I enjoy most about the agriculture industry is a sense of community. I love it. Farmers are always there to help each other, especially in tough times and in good times. Just last weekend we had another farmer help us take our cattle off pasture, and we helped them a couple of weeks beforehand, so that was awesome. We can always count and rely on each other. My advice to anybody wanting to work in the agriculture industry is to reach out to other farmers. Get help, be mentored. Even if you were doing volunteer work or you were just helping out and doing things in the evenings with them, it gives you a little bit of an idea what goes on, and you can always get help from them afterwards while you're trying to build your own farm. It's just for cattle. Yeah. This side here is a big open pen for a general population, but we got those gates and we'll be able to separate it into 3 sections if we need to, for when we're cleaning them or when we're weaning calves. Over in the back corner is our bull pen, and we got a big bull headlock for him so we can keep him contained, and then we got 3 calving pens here, and then over here where the man door is, it's going to be like the room for us to actually walk into. Yeah. The advice I would give to a woman wanting to enter the agriculture industry is just do it. Believe in yourself and do it. You can do anything you set your mind to. Just last weekend I hauled my first load of cattle with the truck and trailer. Everybody else was nervous, but Nelson said, "You can do it, go on and do it." And it's nice that he got confidence in me to do what I want to do. Cookie. Did they give you space to put it in? Now, girls. Yeah. The skills needed to work in agriculture is determination, patience above all, and a good set of hands. Whether that be in the garden, whether that be doing paperwork, or no matter what it is, you need patience.
Thank you, Kayla, for showing us around Ed Fagan Meats and letting us see your beautiful cows. Next, we'll be visiting Rebecca Williams at Pondview Dairy Farms in the Goulds. Rebecca is one of our superstar volunteers that always helps us out and isn't afraid to show us around her farm every now and then. So let's see how some of the technology on her farm makes it a little easier for her to help out some cows that she has and take care of their herd health.
The best part about being a dairy farmer is seeing the babies be born on farm and watching them grow up, seeing them grow daily, feeding them, taking care of them, and then seeing them come back to the farm and have their own babies and start producing milk themselves for their babies. So technology has changed in the dairy industry immensely. When I was young, 4 or 5 years old, Dad was bending over to get milkers on the cows. Right now we're standing up level with the cows, able to put the milker on them. It's not as hard on the body. We also have robotic milkers. They control a lot of the information that the cow has to give, such as milk production. Another thing that has changed immensely is feeding systems. Before, a lot of the time was just hay and some grain, but now we feed a full nutrition balanced diet that we get on a monthly basis. Some other technology we have is our computer system, which holds all the information on every cow and their babies. The information on our database, probably some of our most important information is the cow's health record, which includes any treatments that she would need. Some other information it holds is their milk production, babies they've had, their parents, grandparents, birth dates. That helps us distinguish if a cow is sick or if a cow is down in the barn. We can go in and look her up, and we have some history on her to help us know what could be wrong. 1464 is the cow that I came to check on. She hasn't been quite as active in the herd as we'd like to see, not moving around as much. The number that we identify her as is the big number on her tag. You'll also see that she has a smaller number, and that's her national number, so kind of like her social insurance number. Okay, let's go back to the office and check on this cow's history and see what's going on. We have all the information we need on 1464. The information we have is her age, so she's 5 years old and 4 months. She's had 4 babies. She's currently giving 91 pounds of milk, which is about 40 to 50 liters. I'm going to go into her second chart. This chart also tells me who her dad is, who her mom is, her birth date, and the day she entered the farm. And it will also tell us how much milk she's given so far since she had her most recent baby. With this information, such as her calving date, we can tell that she was recently sick after she had her baby. So right now she's still recovering from being sick previously.
Thank you, Rebecca, for showing us around Pondview Dairy Farm in the Goulds. And thank you for joining us on a journey from field to plate with Susan Lester and Chef Ross Larkin. And of course, for Kayla at Fagan Meats. Thank you for joining us today. And if you want to learn more about agriculture in the classroom and what we do in the classroom and in our community, you can look us up at aitcnl.ca.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com.